Hi, I'm Praveen Sebastian Paul. In this lecture, we are discussing the natural hazards and natural disasters. A natural hazard is a threat of a naturally occurring event will have a negative effect on humans. This negative effect is what we call a natural disaster. In other words, when the hazardous threat actually happens and harms humans, we call that event as natural disaster. Natural hazards and the resulting disasters are the results of naturally occurring processes that have operated throughout the Earth's history. Most of the hazardous processes are also geological processes. These geological processes affect every human on the Earth of all of the time, but are most noticeable when they cause loss of life or property. If the process that possesses the hazard occurs and destroys human life or property, then a natural disaster has occurred. Among the natural hazards and possible disasters to be considered are earthquakes, volcanic eruptions, tsunamis, landslides, subsidence, floods, droughts, hurricanes, tornadoes, asteroid impacts. All of these processes have been operated throughout the Earth's history, but the processes have become hazard only because they negatively affect human beings. Important point is there would be no natural disaster if it were not for humans. Without humans, these are only natural events. Risk is a characteristic of the relation between human and geological processes. We all take risk every day. The risk from natural hazards, while it cannot be eliminated, can in some cases be understood in such a way that we can minimize the hazard to human and thus minimize the risk. To do this, we need to understand something about the processes that operate and understand the energy required for this process. Then we can develop an action to take to minimize the risk. Such minimization of risk is termed as hazard mitigation. Thus, hazard mitigation is defined as any sustained action taken to reduce or eliminate the long-term risk to life and property from hazard events. It is an ongoing process that occurs before, during, and after disaster and serve to break the cycle of damage and repair in hazardous areas. Although humans can sometimes influence natural disasters, other disasters that are directly generated by humans such as oil and toxic material spills, pollution, massive automobile or train wrecks, airplane crashes, and human-induced explosions are considered technological disasters. As we discussed, the natural disasters are produced by processes that have been operating since the formation of the earth. Such processes are beneficial to the human being because they are responsible for things that make the earth a habitable planet for life. For example, throughout the earth's history, volcanism or volcanic eruption has been responsible for producing much of the water present on the Earth's surface and producing the atmosphere as well as metals and other minerals in the Earth's surface. The second thing is earthquakes. The earthquakes are one of the processes which is responsible for the formation of the mountain ranges which direct the water to flow down to form rivers, lakes, and also these mountain regions influence rain distribution in a particular natural boundary. Third one is erosional processes including floods, landslides, windstorms, etc. replenishes the soil and helps to sustain the life in a new world order. So these natural disasters are inevitable in the history of Earth. So all such processes are only considered hazardous when they adversely affect the human being and the other activities of humans. So as we discussed, these hazards or natural hazards occur due to different natural phenomena, and some of these phenomena are biological hazards, environmental hazards, geological hazards, atmospherical hazards, catastrophic hazards, and other natural hazards like insect infestations, disease epidemics, pandemics, wildfires, etc. And most of the rapid hazards occurring throughout the globe is volcanic eruption, earthquakes, flash floods, landslides, severe thunderstorms, lightning, wildfires. So these type of hazards are always happening throughout the globe, and the strike rate is very rapid for these type of hazards. Some of the slow hazards are drought, insect infestations, epidemics are some of the slow hazards that take some years to develop, but once they are affected, they are very severe type of hazards. So my dear students, in the upcoming lecture we will discuss the different types of these natural hazards, or simply we can tell these are the different classifications of hazards. So dear students, kindly go through this assignment question. The assignment questions are: differentiate natural hazard and natural disaster. Second one, define mitigation. Third one, define the technological disasters. And fourth one, how the natural hazards beneficial to the human beings. So my dear students, in the upcoming lecture we will discuss the different classifications of natural hazards. So see you soon. Until then, goodbye. Thank you and all the best.